Hey everyone. Two quick updates before we get into today. As you can see behind me, we're going to go over the TFT 14.18 patch rundown. The two changes are one, I'm changing my upload time. I was scheduling the videos to go up at midnight, and sometimes that ran a little bit late if I was actually recording it right around that time. Um, Now I'm going to be trying to do it in the mornings or afternoons because I'm trying to get my sleep schedule and routine all figured out. So there's that. And then I'm also going to remove the label of September Saga. The titles are getting gross. So I'm going to be making a video every day, at least for September, and then we'll reassess after that. I'll either keep going every day, or I'm thinking I might switch to I will work on a video every day. That way the videos feel a little more high effort. Obviously, some of them have been very low effort, and some of them have been kind of in the middle. Stuff like today, I actually think this is relevant. I actually think I have shit to say about this, so I like doing stuff like that, and I feel a little worse when I'm just like trying to force myself to figure out what to do. And I think if I did it for a couple days and was working on it every day, I would find something better. Anyway, let's hop into TFT. This is a huge patch. I have mixed feelings on that so far. I have not read this at all. I have only read the Twitter updates, which have numbers and full explanations. Obviously, those were subject to change. So let's look through this and see what's going on. But yeah, my thoughts going in is that like we were done with 0.5 sets. This isn't quite that large, but as much as I'm happy to get a lot of new content, I'm a little worried they might go overboard and it might throw the balance so off that we're gonna have to get new like patches fixing all that. But let's see. So starting with the beginning, we are getting frying pans, which is basically like another version of spatula, and we now have like 3 ways to make fawn or force of nature, which is now, or it's been tactician's crown and now it's cape and shield as well, where you get +1 to your max team size still, and then instead of stats, now it is 1% chance to drop gold when the holder dies, when you win combat, or after 10 seconds of combat. So Tactician's Crown is obviously the hardest one to get, right? The holder dying is pretty much guaranteed. 10 seconds of combat is not guaranteed, but very likely. And then winning combat is obviously not guaranteed. It's pretty hard to do. And then if you get all 3, it gives you like infinite gold. I don't think they've changed that. I did not watch the rundown. But yes, I believe if you get all 3, you still just get infinite gold. I mean, literally, like it is pouring out gold all the time. Okay, but then the relevant thing that will happen in almost every game is it can now be made into emblems, right? We are no longer just crafting the traits. We're now crafting classes. I think I've got those words correct, but just flip them if I'm stupid. So now Mage, Multi-Striker, Hunter, Shapeshifter, Scholar, Preserver, Bastion, and Warrior are all craftable. I think some of these are quite relevant. I think this is going to make a huge, huge difference in balance. I think frying pans are not going to be that hard to find. If we assume that getting a spat and getting a frying pan are going to be exactly as likely, and then it's a 50-50 which one. That is an assumption, I guess, but I would assume that's going to be how it works. There's also a new portal that says, like, start with 1 spat and 1 frying pan. Mage Varus is a huge deal. Multi-Striker 7, being able to hit without Camille, is a huge deal. We could see that they're going to adjust those things accordingly, but I'm not sure. Multi-Striker, I would hope, gets a little bit of a nerf at 7. Otherwise, I think Gaston will be really good, because usually hitting Camille is the hard part, right? Because you spend all your time rolling on 6, and then when you hit 7, you hit Callista, no problem, but then you usually have to go 8 and hope you hit Camille, or if you're high rolling, wait till you get 9. I guess high rolling in terms of econ, but not hitting or you hope to hit her off the carousel. I think Warrior Olaf is probably nuts. Preserver Emblem is a big deal. I am positive they're going to nerf Preserver because of that. If you could guaranteed get 5 Preserver every game, that would be fucking nuts. Preserver's incredible, and I would be shocked if they don't touch that. Although, obviously, being able to craft emblems is going to buff all of those traits, so maybe they're just thinking it existing will do it on its own. All right, and then systems. You now gain an item remover from the first loot orb dropped at each PvE round if you don't already have one, and then lower the drop rate of natural item removers. That makes sense, the second part, an adjustment for that. So this essentially means tempo is going to change quite a lot. You're going to slam all of the time. And honestly, I find myself doing that a lot already. As you get higher up in levels of play, you find that if you hit a 2-star 1 cost, let's say Twitch, and you're going to play Olaf later, so you put Last Whisper Deathblade on your Twitch, which are not even fantastic Twitch items. Usually that's not the route you go with Twitch. So he's your item holder. You 2-star him. And then you find an Olaf one. Almost everybody sells the Twitch. You know, hopefully you have 1 or 2 extras. So you put in a Twitch one with no items, and then you put an Olaf one, and you get the items on him. Now, it's going to be a lot easier to just remove the items off of Twitch and stick them on Olaf, which means tempo is going to be a lot more important. Like, starting things up and keeping them is going to happen a lot more. Whereas you could even in that position, right, find a Callista and sell your Twitch and just be like, okay, I'm pivoting now, you know? Whereas with the remover, you might find that Callista and put her in and remover it, but be like, I don't have a better replacement. Let me keep the Twitch too. And then when you find Olaf later, be like, oh, sick, I'm actually still playing Frost. So I think it will change how we move quite a bit, as well as the next thing, which is shop odds, where excuse me, level 2s are less likely on 2 costs are less likely on level 8, as well as 4 costs are 2% more likely. This is a big deal. If you've been playing this set way more than the previous few sets, 4 costs are difficult to find in certain lobbies. It depends on the lobby you're playing. Sometimes everybody is going fast 8. Not that often, though. But sometimes you find that, and then it's easy to hit your 2-star as long as you're not contested. But if you're the only one, or one of the only ones, or the first one to get to level 8, and you roll your gold expecting to have a 2-star 4 cost before everybody else, often you don't hit because it's really fucking hard when everybody's rolling for Kog'Maw and Ahri. So I think this will be a nice change. You know, people have been talking about, including more on Twitter, have been talking about the worry of, are we just going to roll now for 3-star 4 costs on 8 versus leveling to 9? I think that is only going to be the case if everybody sees this change and decides to start playing 4 costs, which I don't think is the case. I think these 2-star or 2-cost 3-stars are going to be so powerful still that we're not going to fall into that. But it's possible. If everybody's playing 4 costs, I do think 22 will get reduced to 21, maybe. I don't know. Or they'll give you like some kind of incentive to go 9, kind of like they started to do with when level 10 was introduced. They had to kind of buff it because at first nobody cared. It's still really niche, but you can now 4-star champions. It's very uncommon, but there's certain augments now this set that make it pretty possible, if not kind of easy. I think this is not a change you will ever think about until you see specifically the augment that gives you a 1-star, a 1 cost every single round. And even then, I think you don't hit it usually till late stage 4, like best case scenario. And by then, I haven't seen the 4-star 1 costs obviously, but I doubt it's like so crazy it makes that big of a difference. I watched a game where Mort hit one. He hit 4-star Elise, and he would have won that game if he had not. So honest. Yeah, he was 8 shapeshifter, and just would have won that game without hitting. In fact, the guy surrendered immediately after he hit it. He played like 1 round with it, I think. All right, armories reduced misclick lockout time from 1.5 to 0.8 seconds. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I know that is that referring to? I don't think that's referring to. They did make a change where when you combine, let's say you have 8 twitches and you buy the 9th, that is instant. Like that's really fast. Maybe that's what they're talking about. That it's like half the time. But armories make it sound like it's talking about like the treasure roll thing. Like I think it was called treasure armory. Or maybe he means like when you get an anvil. I have no idea, man. But anyway, reducing misclick times. Good, I guess. Tome of Traits is removed from the game. Thank God. I mean, it makes sense with the frying pan. Yeah, that shit was always kind of silly. Double up changes. I play double up sometimes. Let's think about this, I guess. Reinforcements. Minimum reinforcement time is 11 seconds. That's good. I got confused for a second. Sorry. I was making sure that... Oh, interesting. I was making sure that the music was playing, and it isn't. That's okay, though. I don't know why it's not tracking my desktop audio. Anyway, player damage is decreasing. Wow, that's interesting. I feel like loose streaking is a fine strategy in double up. I'm surprised that's going down. Anyway, those are pretty minimal changes, except for the dive thing. That's pretty important. Yeah, there's often times where you just lose and you had nothing to do about it. So that's cool. All right. Probably some of the most important shit is on top of this anvil thing, or the not anvil, but the pan, the new emblems. We're getting some trait and unit reworks. I can speak properly, and I think that will make more of an impact. All right, Xerath, true damage is getting nerfed across the board pretty much, because you don't really play him at 2 anyway. I think that's fair. It's usually the one you end up picking late game no matter what. Actually, today had a Xerath on my board and went first, but I kept the tracker on what's his face, Hecarim. But I was playing multicasters, or multi-strikers, so that just makes sense, right? Like the true damage wasn't that high, and the AD and durability was just better. All right, Blaster. We are getting a buff across the board. Base damage amp going up, and damage amp after cast is going up. That makes sense. I feel like Blaster's not that exciting. Varus was pretty good for a very short period. And other than that, they haven't really seen the light of day. Way and Ezreal reroll. People pretended like that was a comp for a bit, but it never really was. Its stats were pretty bad. It felt pretty bad. That sounds good. The only thing I'm worried about is Smolder. I feel like Smolder's just a good unit, and that makes it a little scary, but maybe they'll touch specifically his numbers later. Chrono base timer is going down. Okay, and then the heal now happens at the start of the time stop rather than at the end. Nice. That makes a lot more sense. The 6-piece stun duration is going up from 3 seconds to 4, and the 6-piece attack bonus is getting halved. But the AP bonus is going up quite a bit. Wow, that makes a lot of sense, right? Because the attack speed is really good for Camille, although she also has an AP scaling. But Zillion benefits from attack speed. I mean, it's basically like mana for him. And obviously Jax likes attack speed, but then I do feel like Vex likes the AP a lot more, and everybody does benefit from the AP. But not everybody equally. Like, I guess Vex specifically just doesn't even care about the attack speed. And I do think everybody likes the AP, so that feels a little bit cleaner. And also, I think they're probably trying to move away from that. I don't think the balance is ever intended. Maybe I'm incorrect here, but I assume that the balance is never intended to have attack speed be more efficient than mana items, and it almost always ends up that way. Like, red buff is just a fantastic item to throw on mages. I say mage, I mean AP users, so like Karma and Rise, I'm throwing in there too, even though they're not the class mage, but magic users love Ginsu and red buff. And I don't like the red buff makes sense. The Ginsu, I don't think it should be that way. All right, Eldritch, 3-piece, higher base stats. 5-piece, higher base stats. 7, higher base stats. It's almost like nobody fucking plays this ever. So I don't know what the base stats are. It doesn't say here. I don't know if he says in the video, but I don't know. We'll see. Eldritch is one of those traits where it's so brain dead that they'll probably never make it fantastic because everybody would be sad. But it's actively unplayable right now, so I'm glad they're giving it a buff. I don't know if it'll matter unless those are some big base stats. The units are just like you look at your board when you're playing Vertical Eldritch and you're just like, why am I fucking here, man? I've got Shapeshifter in, you know? It's just like, what the fuck am I doing? Nami is really good. Nami is a very good unit. And Briar's a great carry late game, but getting there just feels so odd. All right, and then Fairy was changed from 2469 to 3579. I'm going to sneeze at some point. I think it's gone. Dude. Bless me. Sorry about that. Okay, so at 3, you get your crown, 30 damage amp, and 200 HP. At 5, still crown, but it's 400 HP to everybody. It's 200 HP to everybody at 3. And then, you and gain an armor. Okay, and then at 7, you're getting a second crown. And at 9, which is now going to be probably the most broken 9-piece you could imagine, which is good because before it was actually beatable, and it probably shouldn't be that way. It's hard to get. But yes, now 9 Fairy, you will have 2 Radiant Crowns and a Radiant Armor. And just to let you know, a little tech people have found already on PvE, find a frontline carry like Briar. Briar is who they were abusing in PvE, and put the crown and the armor on her, and then you crown a backliner. Briar will never die. She has 900 bonus HP, Shapeshifter bonus HP, Feed bonus HP, and she does bonus damage amp, is healing herself. Somebody else is healing her. Yeah, it's crazy. 9 Fairy is going to be really good, which it should be. It's it's a prismatic trait. It fucking should be. I think Fairy will be much more playable like this. I think now getting a second crown at 7 and getting the armor earlier makes me actually consider putting the trait in ever. I think Fairy units are good. I think since the Milio buffs, I actually look at Fairy and don't think, what am I doing? And I think this will be nice. It also gets rid of what was happening previously, which is you play Callista and then you throw in Rakan or somebody, or Milio if you have to, just to get that item on her, because like a 2-piece is easy to put in and the crown was fine. Like, it's just a better item than most. But now you actually have to play because it's 3. It's pretty hard to just throw that in. All right, Honeymancy. I wish this was a bigger change than it is, because oh boy is Honeymancy just fucking trash. In the beginning of the set and up until the most recent patch, 14.17, it was actively just worse to try to go 7. Like, if you went 7, it was just like you were spending so much effort getting the 2 spats that you were like worse off. So now they're changing it so that it grants 5 Bs all the time, and it passes 2 on death, and then it's just increasing like the damage scaling. And now at 7, the Bs fire twice as fast. I don't know. We'll have to play with it. Um, I think Honeymancy was designed as that there's always one trait that is really simple to understand and really re-rollable, just for the hyper rollers and for, yeah, I don't even, yeah, even when they're playing not hyper roll, I'll still call them hyper rollers. People who love to roll and not think. There's always one trait for them, like we've had Lagoon in the past and Punk. Now we have Honeymancy, and it's been useless. So hopefully it's something interesting. I put it in sometimes, like when you get the hero augments for Blitzcrank or Nunu, it's just fine. Because you're rolling for that one anyway, you might as well give them Honeymancy. And then other than that, don't really see the trait. So hopefully it makes it playable. Who knows? Hunter, the pre-takedown AD, is getting nerfed at 4 and 6. The post-takedown is getting buffed at 2 and nerfed at 6. And the trait is also at 6 now, granting 20% attack speed. Is that relevant? Huh. That's interesting to think about. We're nerfing the damage. We're nerfing the damage, but then giving them 20% attack speed. Is that supposed to be like a... I don't know what the implication of that will be. I do think that is nerfing 6 Hunter overall. I would much rather have... That's 10% AD pre-takedown and post-takedown. So like 20% AD for 20% attack speed. Okay. Yeah, that just seems like a nerf to 600 and a buff to 200. Slightly. Very slightly. All right. Seems odd, but I'll take it, I guess. Unless I'm underrating that attack speed, and that will matter, but I don't think it will. Maybe we're thinking about Jinx, like maybe the 20% attack speed instead of AD. Hey, camera, please. How many times has it done that? I just looked over for the first time. Hello, buddy. No? All right, out of focus, Andy. Thanks. Thank you for that. Jesus Christ, man. Look at me. All right, it refuses. There we go. Jesus. And I kind of have to blow my nose. Give me one moment. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, so Hunter change, kind of odd. Anyway, Mage. Oh, we're getting a structure change. Oh, it's just 10. All right, we're just changing the cap of Mage. Now that there's a Mage bet. Makes sense. I hope nobody ever hits 10 Mage, and if they ever do, it'll make me sad, and I won't like it. Stuff like this is kind of silly, right? Where hitting 10 Mage is almost impossible, so when somebody hits it, it's going to be high roll as fuck, and it's going to be really annoying, and they're going to win. Why do we have that? Nobody knows. 10-piece portal power reduced. Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, 10 portals like an insta-win, pretty much, so I'll take it, I guess. Is anybody beating that still? Who knows? Shapeshifter is granting regen at 8, and so they're getting slightly less max HP. Okay, yeah, I mean, hitting 8 Shapeshifter is a big deal, and it's now way easier, so that'll be interesting, I guess. All right, 3-3. We got a lot of changes here. The Scholar is getting 3 mana per attack and 10 AP at 2, and then at 4, 5 mana per attack, which is 1 less, and 15 AP. I'm assuming the AP is just flat, right? Obviously, it'd be fucking crazy if it said per attack. Yeah, I don't know why I had to even think that out loud, but... And then at 6, 10 mana per attack, 20 AP, and abilities heal an ally for 15% of the damage done. An ally? Are we not going to mention the targeting? Is it the lowest health ally? Is it a random ally? Is it the closest ally? I'm assuming it's the lowest health. Sugarcraft. HP. is being increased. Okay, sure. I feel like Sugarcraft is low-key playable, but it's a high roll trait, right? Like, you only play it when you get a spat. Take it, I guess. Oh, but I didn't keep reading. 6 Sugar is getting nerfed. Team HP going down, and APAD going down. Sure. Yeah, I don't even know what to think about it. It's Sugarcraft. It's still gonna be good when you high roll, and it's still gonna be shit when you don't. Warrior double damage amp threshold is going up. Damage amp and Omnivamp is going down at 6 because it's craftable. It also grants 20% durability. Oh, cheers. All right. So, I mean, that's just above. Warrior's a lot better. I guess we're going to see a lot of, I mean, that, so far, the 4 cost change plus Warrior change, makes your, Gwen seem a lot more appealing. Which is good. It should be more appealing, to be fair. 4 Witchcraft was reworked to poison the cursed enemy, dealing 4% of their max HP per second as magic damage. Makes sense. 4 was not that exciting. 4, you either went 6 or 8, or 2 in the beginning, and then would get rid of it. And sometimes you splash in 2 with, like, Fiora Morgana. And then all curse increase is going up at 8. I'm not sure 8 Witchcraft really needed that, but I'll take it. It just makes Witchcraft even better when you can hit 8. If I sneeze again, I'm going to freak out. No, I won't. That's fine. Speaking of sneeze, Nomsy. But we'll go in order. Ash. It's harder to cast, but she has got a massive rework, which is now, for the rest of combat, Ash fires an additional arrow at a nearby enemy that deals, an amount of physical damage, and the effect stacks. Yeah, I mean, Ash reroll is going to be really good. I think it was already pretty good if you do Ash Jax and then go into multicaster and you just skip Cassidon. I mean, obviously, if you happen to hit Cassidon and Akali as well, you can. But oftentimes, you would just roll the 1 costs and then try to get 7 in, 7 multi-striker. And oh my god, yeah, this looks way better. So, good luck. Good luck rerolling Ash. Speaking of which, Namzi, who right now is actually seeing play as a 3-star who gets items, specifically when you get the augment that I don't remember the name of that says 3-star for units and then get a bunch of shit. It's good because nobody else was playing Namzi. But now maybe you will, because the sneeze, when it does overkill damage, which I will tell you, is all of the fucking time. As somebody who's played more Namzi than I should have, he overcasts every combat he's in. And now when he does that, it's going to spread. And then when you put in the dragon upgrade, it spreads even harder. This is a massive change. I think Namzi might actually be playable now. Especially if we're getting Twitch buffs as well. Let's see it. Okay, Jace, slight nerf. Makes sense. Jace is pretty fucking good right now. Jack, slight nerf. Makes sense for the previous reasons about Ash. Warwick. AD ratio on a spell. Happy to see it. Bro needs the help. Not sure that's the help he needs. I would think either may increase the heal a bit or increase the passive somehow, like the growing passive. Because he's terrible. I could call him dog shit, because it's Warwick. Anyway, Twitch can now angle his shots slightly to hit more targets, so long as his current target will still be hit. That's a nice change. Okay, I saw green text, and I got excited because Twitch Nomzi buffs. Maybe the bugs matter. Fixed a bug where Twitch could sometimes take between 0 to 0.24 extra seconds. Wait, but if it's... Sorry, I'm not going to get anal about the wording, but the wording's stupid. Anyway, to finish casting his ability. Okay, sure. Fixed a rare bug where Twitch could fizzle his ability, and now properly states that he sunders before dealing damage in the tooltip. All right, nice little Twitch adjustments, because he'll probably see more play now that his reroll Buddy Nomsy is actually usable. RE, total rework, which now fires an orb with a current target that deals magic damage, and then launch 3 foxfires, at enemies near the target, each dealing true damage. We just had to keep that word in there for some reason. And then gain an additional foxfire this combat. Orb is now single target, no longer deals damage to the target it passes through or returns, and the orb will now redirect a new target if the initial dies mid-flight. Hopefully this makes a difference. I'm tired of seeing this fucking unit. Ability rework on Cass. Empower the next 3 attacks to deal bonus magic damage. Lower the mana, lowered her attack speed, and she now instant cast. Powered attacks now trigger within. Okay, I don't know. Maybe. She was pretty unplayable before. Let's see, I guess. I'm hoping we see some Syndra changes as well. Otherwise, it's like the Twitch Nomsy thing, you know? If Cass doesn't have a reroll buddy, then what the fuck are you doing? Akali, buffed at 1 and 2 and nerfed at 3. Makes sense. She's good at 3 and pretty terrible at the others. So I will take those changes. Kassadin, ability stab damage down by 10. Okay, probably still good. Especially because it's easier to hit 7 now with the pan. Cogmom, another change by 10 at 3-star. Makes sense. Just a little light tap on these 2 costs that are good to reroll. All right, Shyvana Dragon bonus rework. So her ability is the same, but when you get Dragon in, it doubles the size of the aura and it deals 30% more damage. And then on top of that, her armor and MR was buffed, and her aura damage is buffed. She no longer deals damage the instant enemies enter her aura. What does that fucking mean? Now there's some delay? I don't know. Anyway, that sounds pretty nice. Nomsy buffs and Shyvana buffs. Sounds like that's actually going to be... it's honestly kind of playable right now. It's like niche playable right now if you're in a very specific spot, so I bet it'll be pretty good. I like those units, so cool. Nyla, nerfed at 3-star. Again, makes sense. Little light tap. This one's a bit bigger, though, 20% to these rerollers. Syndra did get changes. That's good. She's actually getting nerfed by 5 spell damage at 3-star, but buffed to get there, and then also buffed at every stage for the secondary spell damage. I'll take it. It's a little light buff. I don't think she will ever be the carry anymore. I think that will never happen again. Maybe we'll play Cass reroll. You're probably not putting in Cantor in, but we'll see. Probably just never buying Syndra for the rest of the set because of what she did in the first patch. She's in the punished corner. Zillion nerfed to 3-star. Makes sense. Zillion is a sleeper unit. You don't see people going for him that often, but he's fucking goated. He is so good it's actually kind of gross. I love throwing my mana items on him until I figure out what I'm doing, because he actually just clobbers people. Anyway, Rumble nerfed to 3-star. This is purely for the hero augment. Rumble is a worthless unit without Molten Caramel, and then when you get Molten Caramel, he's a fucking freak of nature. I love hero augments. They're such good design. I can't wait to talk about the new hero augment later. Woohoo! Yeah. Tristana gets more armor and a buffed AP spell ratio. Sure thing, pal. Those things matter on that unit. Okay. What the fuck? I mean, Tristana's a good unit, so I'll take a little bit of tiny buff on her. Ability reworked for Ezreal. Fire a blast in a wide line through the current target, dealing damage. Reduced 25% for each enemy it passes through, and the first target takes additional magic damage. If an enemy is adjacent, blink to safety before firing. Those features have always worked perfectly, and will totally not be broken. Kaisa. Kaisa. Sorry, I had to clear my throat there from the sneeze earlier. And, what does that even mean? Hecarim's passive was reworked. On takedown of the current target and power the next attack, if the target is out of range, charge to them. Okay. Updated visuals for Hecarim's charge. Resolves his charge faster. That makes sense. I feel like when your Hecarim was doing well, it looked really good. And when your Hecarim was doing poorly, you were like, dude, why are you charging at fucking 5 miles per hour? You're supposed to be a speed man. You're supposed to be the horse. And then his cleave AD went down because of the other changes. Fair enough. Hecarim's a really cool unit, so I hope he's actually re-rollable. Ability reworked. How many times are we going to say that today? Gained 125% decaying attack speed for 4 seconds. For the duration, attacks fire rockets that deal physical damage and ignore armor. That's cool. I don't know. Jinx has been decent the whole set. I feel like her balance has actually been fine. I'm not sure what they're feeling about this, if they want to make her less present or more present. Honestly, the change doesn't seem like it will do either. She seems like she'll still just be a really solid option when you don't have anywhere else to go, although her buddy Wukong is getting nerfed, so we'll see. Mordekaiser, though, first, is getting, instead of AP on cast, he's getting damage amp, and his Spell Shield is getting buffed. That's cool. Mord is a sick-ass unit. It's just Eldritch sucks, which they buffed, and Syndra sucks, which they buffed. I don't know. We'll see. And Ash rework looks good. So far, all the Eldritch units getting nice little touches. Let's see what happens. Elise didn't get touched. Yeah, Wukong, less armor, passive rework, gain. Oh, interesting. It's gain a flat amount of armor and MR and lose 1 of each every second. They just want him to stop tanking for 9 hours. Sure. So Wukong's like a early game tank now? I don't know. I hope he's gutted. Fuck that unit. I don't know what those ads were. Hopefully nothing bad. 3-cost champs. Bard. Spell damage. Up. But it's minor. That makes sense. I feel like he's pretty decent, but not that good. I'll take a little touch up. Hui. We're lowering the delay before lightning bolts hit. That's a pretty big deal. And blaster buffs, I'll take it. Maybe Hui will be playable. Hui's a cool unit and has yet to see his time in the spotlight, so. Nico. The heal buffed. Okay, sure. Like, that's overall a buff for sure. Anyway. Vhagar. Nerfed all around. All right. I'll take it. Honestly, I don't know that I would have nerfed his early game. I would have just nerfed the late game. I feel like Vhagar is one of those comps that you end up beating as they're rerolling, and then they hit, and then they never lose again. And now we're just fully saying, let's slow that down, and maybe even gut him. I don't know how much that change will matter, but I don't know. Like, that looks pretty relevant. Like, you're getting to Vhagar being harder is a pretty big deal. All right, Gwen is getting snip damage all across the board. The tooltip is updated. Who gives a fuck? Gwen will now... people, that matters. I'm sorry. Gwen will now dash up to 3 hexes to the hex furthest from the most enemies. It could still snip her target. Gwen now takes a fixed amount of time to do all her snips. If Gwen's target is out of range, when she would start snipping, she dashes again until she catches up with them. Can you tell by how I'm reading this that at the end I'm going to say, I don't know what the fuck that means. She'll probably be pretty good. Fixed a button with Gwen's snip animations and VFX. Each snip's damage is now a separate number instead of stacking. Recovers from the final snip slightly faster. Fixed a rare bug where Gwen could stand around just chilling for a few seconds. I mean, because of the reasons I stated earlier with Warrior Spat is craftable. We got 4-cost buffs and warrior buffs. Gwen's probably going to be fucking goated. We're actually getting a Varus AD reduction and another ability rework where we're firing the supernova at a cluster of enemies within range +1. Hexes that deal Physical damage to the target and all adjacent enemies. It explodes into a cluster of fireballs, dealing the initial damage, physical damage, to all other enemies within 3 hexes. Fires earlier in the cast. Cast time resolves slightly faster baseline. Cast time now scales more aggressively with attack speed. That makes sense. Maybe Ginsu Varus will actually be good and not just really popular for no reason. Red buff is good, but Ginsu is just, I don't know. Everybody does it, and it's not the way to go right now. But maybe that's changing. Varus no longer ends his animation early to attack from midair. Cool. Now prioritizes dealing the most damage rather than the most targets. Now deals damage to secondary targets more reliably, and 3-star now hits 1 hex larger radius. Okay, between the blaster buffs and quite a lot of quality of life changes, I think that'll be good. And I think they agree that it's so good that they were like, let's fucking let's chunk into his AD, because holy shit, he would have been a monster. Yep, that makes sense. And we are getting a red smolder change, I see. I predicted that earlier. Olaf casts far more often. Why are we buffing Olaf so much? Holy shit, he's going to be good. Holy shit, he's going to be good. And you can make him a warrior with the craftable thing. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? I mean, we nerfed Hunter. Sure. Not that much. Other than 6, which even that was like, yeah, not that much. Olaf's goated. Olaf's goated. I'm playing Twitch Namzi, Shyvana, Olaf. Hell yeah. Rakan buffs. Huh. Interesting. Now 1 and 2-star. He's gonna cast quite a bit more often. Like the second cast will happen quite a bit more often because it's 20 lower. Yeah. Because he's a preserver, right? So he's getting quite a bit of mana. And then his shield value went up. Nice, not bad. Wait, we didn't even. Okay, it's reminding me that we're not seeing preserver changes and preservers craftable. I hate being alive. Anyway. No, I don't. I love it. Ability reworked on Smolder. Holy shit! Stop saying that. Gain 50% attack speed for the next 4 attacks. These attacks launch fireballs. The dragon upgrade is next 6 attacks instead. They deal 30% more damage. Wow, we didn't make Smolder heal himself for no reason anymore? Wow. Now can gain a maximum of 1,000 bonus movement speed from all sources. Oh, so we can't put mittens on Smolder and have him break the code? Okay, that's good. It's probably still buggy as fuck, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, Zareth now can only target between the closest 5 enemies. That is quite a big nerf. And so, in order to adjust that, they are increasing his AP. Honestly, between the true damage and that, closest 5. 5's a big number. But that first cast is going to suck. That first cast is going to make you so upset. Anyway, Zareth is probably quite a bit worse. This patch. Milio, huge mana reduction. Oh, but it's hard. Okay, first cast harder, second cast much easier. Interesting. The first cast is 10 more, right? It was 80 and now it's 90. The second cast is 30 down, though. That's a big deal. And Scholar got buffed, and Fairy got buffed. Milio's probably pretty good. Spell damage is going up on Nora and Yuumi. Yuumi is getting nerfed. And Yumi's heal is going up at 2-star. Cool. That makes sense. I think they're trying to make it so maybe you put Yuumi on a frontliner. You won't. I think they're just nerfing it a little bit. But the heal going up is the odd part. It's only a little bit. Yeah, so slight nerf to Yuumi, but buff to Nora herself. That checks out. I can see that. A lot of times I put her in literally just for Yuumi. Items. Adaptive Helm. The backline AP down, and the backline bonus no longer counts time spent while mana locked towards its tick rate. Same thing with Radiant. Nashor's Tooth. getting less AP, but more attack speed on proc, and quite a lot more. Wow. Kassadin loves that. Shojin is less AD and AP. I almost want to check out the video to hear that explanation. 5 less AD and AP on Shojin? Okay. Sure thing, pal. Titan's Resolve. Double the AP per stack. Okay, not bad. And Mogul's Mail nerf. Thank God. All right, let's read some augments. New Arcana Champions. Wait, it doesn't say. It doesn't say the tier. Okay, I'll have to guess, I guess. Arcana Champions deal 10% bonus damage. If they start combat holding 2 items, they gain a recommended third item completed item. Excuse me, gain an RN Hecarim. So that's a prismatic, right? Banned on 2-1. Maybe they're all prismatics? Nope. Frosty Frontline's gold. And Pillar of Flame is gold. Maybe that's gold. I don't know. I probably won't ever click it. Unless I'm already playing Arcana when it shows up. Anyway, Draconic Mastery is back. It's only 2-1. You have to commit to Dragon immediately. Yeah, and they gain 10% health, 18% attack speed, and then when they score a certain amount of 60 takedowns, they gain Smolder. I mean, that's goated. I'm picking that. I'm picking that every fucking time I see it. Yeah, that's a gold augment. Very good. Flexible is now a prismatic augment. Maybe they're all gold except for flexible, which used to be and is no longer. Prismatic, you get a emblem every single stage. Your team HP is quite a bit buffed and can no longer get duplicate emblems. I'm clicking that shit every time it's on my screen. Don't give me emblems. Stop doing that. Stop giving me emblems. Yep, still an insta-pick. Seems goated. Anyway, the Frost trait is now a placeable wolf instead of a target dummy. It gains Protector's Vow instead of Eternal Winter. It gains 40% attack speed and 300 HP per Frost tier. And you gain a Warwick and a Zillion. I have no idea. We'll have to play with the wolf and see how it feels. Yeah. Shen, Hero Augment. If it's on your screen, click it, reroll Shen, you win the game. Yippee, yippee, yippee. I don't need to read it. I don't care. Silver Augments. Called Shot is increasing the gold. That makes sense. I've seen so many people pick Called Shot and lose the first round, and the whole lobby is typing. Every single motherfucker says something, because it's such a crazy augment to pick right now. I'm glad they're buffing it. Combat Bandages, less healing, but fixed a bug where it stopped working, stage 4. That's wild. Honestly, that shit was a little unclickable, so, yeah, not bad, I guess. I'm still probably not clicking it, but interesting to know that it wasn't working on stage 4. And beyond, I assume, is what that means. Fine Vintage is less turns to proc. Might actually be clickable now. Good for Something is better. That's your units without items have a chance to drop gold. That actually is a relevant buff. I think that matters. That might be good. Item Collector nerf, that's good. That shit's crazy. Excuse me, dude. Oh my god, my nose is so itchy. Precise Planning. I don't remember what that is, so sorry. Restart Mission. No longer drops duplicate copies of champions. That's a nerf. But yeah, sure. Rolling for days. 2 more rerolls. Nice. That's good. I'm going to gloss through these real quick. Golden Quest nerf. I will take it. I don't click this ever. I feel like it's kind of a bait, and now it's unpickable. Avenge the Fallen is much better. Cool. Heroic Grab Bag gives you some more gold. Fortune Favors the Bold nerf. Item Collector nerf. I'm sure we'll see that at Prismatic as well. Runon's nerf. Yes, Friends nerf. That's just because the trait is playable now, I guess. That's what the data is telling them. Combat bandages. Okay, that's so fucking hilarious. Clockwork Accelerator, slight buff. We'll see. It's been unpickable the whole set. We'll see if it 1% makes a difference. Cauterize up. Sure. Prismatic. Well, we're not seeing. We're not seeing. We're not seeing. Oh, I skipped one. But we're not seeing Item Collector 3 nerfed? That's crazy. Little Buddies no longer counts non-champions. Sure, probably a small difference. Potions 201. I mean, they changed Witchcraft, I guess. Press the attack nerf. That makes sense. Press the attack was really good. Prize Fighters. Adjustment. Sleight of Hand. That shit was really good. Trait Tracker. Extra Emblem. Disabled on trainers. Nice. Upgraded Adventure. One cost granted is lowered. All loot tables values lowered. Yep, that makes sense. It was really good this last patch. I mean, it's been good the whole set, but this patch, people have been going crazy picking it. Hard commit. Champions granted tier. I don't care. I don't know. I don't know what the I don't. What the forge? Oh, it's just like the star level is going to be one lower. Okay, sure. Now grants an additional artifact anvil immediately. Huh, that's actually kind of a big deal. Hero augments nerfed across the board. Best change Mortog's ever made? Wow. I know it's not Mortog, it's the TFT team. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for your work. I said that like it wasn't true. Obviously it is true. Sure, we believe you, Mort. There's other people that work there. Wow. Yeah, I bet. Your augments are broken. I'm glad they're all getting nerfed. Well, not all of them, but enough. New charms. Yeah, let's glance at them. We're already here. We're already in deep. Stage 5 plus, 6 gold. Next combat, your team gains 1,000 shield, decaying over 5 seconds. It's kind of like the Yordle one, I guess, but better. Conjure Frying Pan. Gain a Frying Pan. That checks out. Stage 4 plus, 4 gold. Mana Reave all enemies. Very nice. Very, very clickable. 8 gold. Stage 5 plus, gain 3 temporary Thieves' Gloves for 1 round. Interesting. 6 gold, stage 5 plus, next combat, chill, burn, shred, and sunder enemies for 8 seconds. Very cool. I like that. I like that they add new late game ones. I think charms are probably going to I think charms have a potential to stick around. I think charms might be the next hey, we're making everything that was a set mechanic permanent. I think people like charms quite a lot. I think they might keep charms around. I don't know. But I like that they're adding more. Next combat. Combat start. Burn and deal 30% max health damage to 4 enemies. Interesting. Probably pretty good. 0 gold, stage 4 plus. Next combat, your team's physical damage is dealt as magic damage. Wow, that's 0 gold? Wow. I feel like that's pretty good. But the thing is, it's so matchup specific, right? It's like if your opponent has a Bramble Vest, you just fucking destroy them. Anyway. Next combat, your units execute enemies that fall below 200 health. Pretty good. And 200 might be too low, but we'll see. It's pretty cheap, so might as well. 8 gold, stage 5 plus. Summon a large golem equipped with a defensive item for 1 round. 8 gold, stage 5 plus. Combat start at every 8 seconds. Stun all enemies. And every 8 seconds. Wow. Wow. That one's really good. Reworked charm. Desperate plea. Next combat, reduce all incoming player damage by 80%. Nope. I like that you're trying to change it, but nope. Don't bring it back. That sucks. I mean, you can't be at like 1 HP anymore, and like if you're really low, you're still gonna die, blah, blah, blah. That sucks. Don't do that. all 5s, which is reroll your shop with 5 costs, is now 8 gold instead of 5. Thank you. That's good. People high roll too much on that one. Now you won't just always click it, right? Now sometimes you'll be like, 5 cost isn't crazy for me here. I won't click it. Conjure Emblem. Gain a random uncraftable emblem is now gain a random emblem. Nice. I now, instead of wanting to click it all the time and sometimes not, will now click that all the time. Lightning Strike. You can see the true damage when it happens. Thanks. Salvager. No longer breaks apart Tactician's Crown. Won't break Tactician's Shield or Cape. Summon Dragon. It's cheaper, but the dragon's nerfed. Sure thing. All right. So this patch looks super cool. Honestly, like I said, going into it, I thought maybe they were reworking too much, but it's actually not that crazy. I don't know why. Mort made me think that there was going to be more. And I'm not talking about the TFT team and saying Mort. I mean, literally Mort specifically called it, like, here. He's putting it in the patch rundown, and he specifically said this before anything was released. He said, this is like a 0.25, like half of a half set. It isn't. Really cool that they put this much effort into it. I'm really happy about that. It's not that big. Like, you cleaned up a lot of abilities. That's really nice. I love that. A lot of good bug fixes. Frying pan is an interesting new thing we're doing. I do think, I mean, obviously, this has been in the works for a long time because of how they design sets, right? Like, every set past this one must have been designed knowing frying pan would exist, or we're going to run into some fucking trouble territory, man, because being able to craft these other emblems is a big deal. Yeah, it also seems like quite a lot of this patch says if you hit the mega high roll of, like, if you hit the 8 of a trader, 9 of a trader, the 10 of mage now, you're just going to win. Not all the time. Somebody else could high roll equally as strong, but yeah, that's a nice little cleanup, I guess. Except for the 10 mage, I hate that. Fuck you. Hero augments got nerfed. That's nice. Then we added a new one for no reason. They're very popular, to be fair. I get it. But they suck. They suck to play against. I don't like it. I don't even like clicking it, but I always have to because they're so good. Yeah, I'm interested to see where the balance goes. I don't know if people are going to play 4 cost more. I don't know if Fairy is actually going to be playable now. Hui reroll might be goated. Ezreal also got changes, so maybe it's just Blaster in general. Everything looks big, big, big. Yeah, I'll see you on the flip side. Thanks for watching.